Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is so great to have you on with us again for another edition of NTA Exclusive. We have an exciting show ahead of us today, and I have some wonderful people that I'm going to allow to introduce themselves. We are talking today about some new areas of training we have coming up here at the National Training Agency. If you're watching us right now, I want you to please begin to share this video with your family and friends. We're live today on the NTA Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. So after this commercial break, I will allow my special guests to introduce themselves and then we'll get on with their show.
It's summertime in the Bahamas, and many people are heading to the beach for a swim. Wherever people are swimming, there's always a need for trained lifeguards who can help save lives when the need arises. The National Training Agency, in conjunction with the Bahama Swim and Scuba Dive Training and Maritime Operations, invites you to be a part of the new swim training and lifeguard course. Successful candidates will gain knowledge and skills to become certified lifeguards.
What are the requirements? I'm glad you asked. You must be able to swim 16 to 28, out of school, and unemployed. Other requirements and prerequisites apply. Please call 461-6000 or 461-6024 for more information. Don't delay, register with NTA today.
Well, we are back, and as promised, we are on talking about a new area of training here at the National Training Agency. And as you can see on your screen, I have a lovely young lady right next to me who is going to be co-hosting, and also another gentleman who is going to introduce himself. And Robin, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? Hi, everyone. I'm Robin Raming. I am the ILM Training Administrator at NTA.
Awesome. And she's gonna definitely, her character is gonna come out in this show today. But I'm really excited to hear what Mr. Smith has to tell us. But Mr. Smith, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Enoch Smith. I am part of Bahamas Swim and Scuba Dive Training and Maritime Operations. And we are about to embark on a lifeguard training certification course as well as a swim training certification course here with the NTA.
That is so awesome. And it's so interesting that you talked about that relationship already. I want to find out a little bit more about that. How did you even find out about the National Training Agency who introduced NTA to you?
Well, I was actually introduced to the NTA in 2018. I was a part of a set of training instructors that came to certify scuba divers in relations with the NTA. And from there, the relationship was, basically as a needs arise, then I would be contacted and see how best I can assist. And this particular training course came about from a Miss Lang that reached out to me and asked about lifeguard training, and here we are.
Okay. Well, that's a really nice backstory on that. You mentioned lifeguarding. How long have you been a lifeguard and doing scuba diving?
So let's take it back a little bit as to how I got into this. I am a former Marine from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. I've served 16 years in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
Wow.
A part of the amphibious operations or commando squadron unit. So being a part of that unit, you had to be a very good swimmer, a very good diver, which I am. I was a military diver inside the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and one of their instructors. And anything to do with clandestine operations or swimming, anything to do with water, I was a part of. So I've been doing this since 2005.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're a veteran.
Yeah, I would consider myself to be one. So I have some knowledge as to what to do and how to do it.
I got you. That's
Some
awesome.
knowledge. some
Yeah,
knowledge.
no, it sounds like a little bit more
That's
than
all
Always
I'm
that,
funny.
you know, but that's good. And, at NTA, I don't know for those of us who are watching, NTA is really good at training because the persons that do training are just like yourself, people who are experts in the industry,
Mhm.
and we always want to make it clear that NTA is not a school. It's not a school or a college. It's just a national training agency where we partner with persons like yourself to provide competency-based training. So we're so grateful for this opportunity we have to work along with you. And it kind of brings me to my next question. With this new training that we are bringing on stream, now the diving and scuba diving training, what would you say, in your opinion, is the importance of this training, number one, and also what are some of the benefits?
Well, to be a lifeguard or to be considered a lifeguard, you hold a lot of responsibility. And it is my wish to bring to light the importance of being fit to do your job, not just to sit down and soak up the sun or conversate. But this training, we are trying to focus on imparting what it takes to be a lifeguard, surveillance, professionalism, the responsibilities, your attitude, your character, all of that, as well as training individuals in the proper techniques of swimming, proper techniques in rescues, the different types of escapes and holds that could arise from trying to rescue someone, the proper techniques in being an emergency first responder, CPR, first aid, anything like that, illness assessments and stuff, as well as maintaining that lifestyle. Because it's one thing to wear a uniform, but it's an entirely different thing to embody what you do into your lifestyle. So hopefully we can pass that knowledge and information on to the candidates of this course.
Well, that's good, and I hope they digest it. Me myself, I consider myself to be an intermediate bubbler.
Uh,
I can swim, I can handle myself, but the lifeguarding thing, that's where my rope ends.
I didn't know that you swim. That's
You
awesome.
gotta keep those little things in your pocket.
I would like to point something out right there. Something key that you said. A lot of people I've encountered and they say, I could swim, I can handle myself. In my mind, and I'm pretty sure you might be able to handle yourself. But learning to swim is something that you can either do it or you can't. Because
Wow.
if you could tell me you could swim, that means you could swim in 5 foot of water, 10 foot of water, hundreds of feet of water for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe 3 hours. It depends,
Wow, I don't know about all that. I don't know.
right?
But considering all of that information, what are the main areas that will be covered in the training for lifeguarding and scuba diving?
So we are going to break it down into phases. The first phase is to actually critique the swim strokes. For those that are coming, some might be a little bit more proficient than others. And the goal is to get everyone as proficient as possible in the swim strokes. And we're going to be covering 3. First one would be the breaststroke. Second one would be the front crawl, or which is known as the freestyle. And then the third one would be the side stroke. Not many people are aware of the side stroke or can do it properly. So those are 3 strokes and the stroke proficiency that we're going to do in the first phase. Second phase will be covering the emergency first responder aspect of it. How to assist someone, how to recognize someone in need of your assistance, whether it's an accident, an injury, or just someone feeling ill. How to perform a proper CPR, how to use an artificial external defibrillator, and how to administer oxygen. So all of these things encompasses what we're going to be doing in the second phase. In the third phase, then we're going to jump deeper into what it means to be a lifeguard. Like I mentioned earlier, the roles of a lifeguard, the different surveillance techniques, the different rescue techniques, and the different types of escape holds from someone that may be panicking. How to realize someone is in distress, and how to know the difference between a distressed swimmer, a drowning victim, passive or aggressive. So all of these stuff are going to be in the third phase. And then the fourth phase that we're going to do, and it sounds like a lot, but it's
I know, right?
it's just broken down. But the fourth phase would be putting everything together, and then we're going to just hammer it home and mix it up and watch everybody's reaction and stuff like that. So,
Man, listen, I didn't even know that this training entailed all of that. So
that's heavy.
definitely, Robin, this is no joke. This is no joke. I think a lot of people believe to be a lifeguard, you just got to be able to jump in the water, and save somebody, but definitely all that stuff that you're all covering, that's a lot. And
yeah,
I can see why this is definitely going to be beneficial to them.
it is. Think about it. If we're surrounded by water, like you could throw a rock and it hit a body of water, I think it's good to have almost everybody proficient in swimming, because you never know. You could be traveling on a boat, you could be at the beach, certain things happen. But definitely for lifeguards, you are held to a higher standard simply because you are the first person that someone would look to save the life of their loved one or themselves, just by wearing that uniform.
Wow.
And you don't want to be in a situation where you don't know what to do because you weren't trained properly or you didn't understand how to execute your job.
Listen, I'm telling you, I am telling you. Well, we're going to be back after a short commercial break. And for those of you that have just joined us, we are on with Mr. Enoch Smith, and we are talking about the new swimming and scuba dive training that's going to be offered by the National Training Agency in conjunction with, give me the name of your company again.
Bahamas Swim and Scuba.
Bahamas Swim and Scuba.
Yes.
So after these messages, we're going to go into some more questions with Mr. Smith. Continue to like and share this video.
As Bahamians, we are dedicated to supporting and uplifting our people. We do this by creating healthier communities and improving lives with a team of dedicated medical professionals with an array of subspecialties. We provide patient-centered, high-quality, holistic healthcare with state-of-the-art equipment across our network, including outpatient surgery and treatments. Our industry-standard kidney clinic, imaging, pharmacy, ambulance, rehabilitation, and laboratory services assist patients across our beautiful island. As we celebrate our nation and all that makes us proud to be Bahamian, we do so in love and unity. Like the strong, resilient oak tree, we stand with you when you need us. We are more than medical. We are community. Oak Tree Medical Center, caring, compassionate, complete. Visit us at www.oaktreemedicalcenter.com.
Well, we are back. And again, we are so happy to be on with Mr. Enoch Smith. And I'm happy to be on with my co-host, Ms. Robin Raming. We're talking today about a new area of training here at the National Training Agency, the swim and scuba dive and lifeguard training. So this has been an exciting show so far, Robin. What you think?
Yeah, because I never knew what a side stroke was.
Well, I worse. So yeah, man. Thank you again, Mr. Smith, for joining us. And I want to get back into the conversation that we were having before. Well, actually, let's continue it a bit further. I want to ask, would you say that successful trainees, we talked about the benefits about this training, but I want you to tell me, do you believe that the demand for lifeguards, is it high right now? And as a result of this training, would trainees be in a more employable position?
Well, in terms of the regards, in terms of the demand, yes, it is, because right now you have a lot of lifeguards being called and tested to be a part of Coco Key. So that's one area of opportunity. And then you do have the Celebration Key that's on stream to be coming up. So there's employability there as well. And then there's numerous different hotels that are looking for competent, proficient, and reliable workers in the field of being a lifeguard. So it is. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you that there was a course about 2 weeks ago that we actually ran, and we certified a few lifeguards. Some people didn't make it because they couldn't, make the prerequisites, which there are.
Okay.
But there's a lot of employability, and even for someone that may be going into a field where, hey, can you perform CPR? Are you able to assess and help a choking child or something like that? For instance, if you're a teacher or if you're somewhere where you're looking out for persons that may need assistance. So that would make your, I would say, what's the resume look even better.
Okay. And speaking of prerequisites, what would the trainees need to know before they register? You can't just jump into something and be lost in the clouds.
No. Okay. So first thing is you need to be able to swim. Now, you don't have to be the best swimmer.
Okay, I can do it.
Yeah, right? Right.
And tell me a bit about that, because that was the first thing that caught my attention when I saw the flyer, and I'm going to flash the flyer for our audience to see, at some point. But when you're talking about a swim and scuba dive course, and the first thing they say is got to be able to swim, a lot of people, they're like, well, I thought y'all supposed to be teaching me how to swim. So explain that for me.
Now, here's the thing. When you come, we want to assess and see where you are, right? So for instance, to join, you must be at least 15 years of age, at least. And then there's a prerequisites and a bunch of different events we're going to explain. First thing is you need to be able to attempt to swim at least 400 meters without stopping. Now that sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot. We'll get into it some more. So if you can't make 400 meters, instructors will assess where you are in terms of your efficiency in the strokes. They would look at what you're probably doing wrong and what you need to work on. So this assessment helps the instructors more. Then you must be able to, well, let's talk about the strokes you could use. You can use the breaststroke, you could use the front crawl, which is known as the freestyle, but you cannot use a backstroke, or you cannot just float in the water. Right? You have to continuously be moving.
That's sorry.
You can do a combination of either, right? And then we have the treading water.
Oh no.
Oh yes, you need to be able to tread water. Now this is a skill that a lot of people take for granted, because staying still in the water is, pretty hard unless you're floating. So treading water, being able to swim at least 400 meters non-stop. And then there's a timed event. The timed event is 1 minute and 40 seconds. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to start in the water. You're going to swim about 20 meters to an object that's about 12 to 10 feet below water. You're going to dive down, retrieve that object. It's about 10 pounds. And then you're going to swim back to the starting point with that object above water. So this here simulates, do you have the endurance to retrieve someone from being submerged underwater and try to get them back to safety?
Robin is here. She's speechless.
Because he lost me at 10 pounds. And
No, don't run away. Don't run away. You can do it. You gotta try.
So this wasn't one of the questions, but I gotta ask this. We gotta talk about physical attributes and what kind of shape people gotta be in. Talk about that. Like, how in shape do people need to be?
Now, believe it or not, I've literally seen some of the most in shape physique people fail.
Wow.
So being in a type of physical appearance might help, but as long as you're not right, like I haven't walked a mile in maybe 10, 20 years or something like that. As long as you are able to get in the water, get to an object, get back and continue, then you could possibly pass it. Now the thing is, you have to have a lot of endurance.
Mhm.
All right. You don't have to be six pack, rip, bulging biceps and stuff like that. You just have to have a lot of endurance to keep going, and then everything else is on the instructor.
Listen. I was gonna sign up, but I know,
Do it.
And
Do
he
it.
had no breaks. We have to keep going. I can't even just.
Robin pretty much had her scuba dive gear and ready.
Ready to go?
I don't know if she can still go.
I don't know where the scuba dive gear is, sir.
I guarantee you, I've seen individuals come from I can't make one lap. I don't think I can make one lap to actually doing 400 meters.
Okay, so that's
You know,
for me.
There's hope. There's always hope. It depends on one or two things: your health, and then it depends on your mindset. Right? As long as you're willing to do the work, you could get there.
Okay.
Well, one thing I hear throughout all of this conversation, I hear discipline. Discipline. You gotta be disciplined.
I didn't say that word.
Yeah. No, I'm saying based on what you're saying, it
Definitely.
tells me that you gotta be disciplined and you gotta be serious about what you're doing. This ain't just jumping in the water.
Mhm.
You gotta be focused, you gotta be determined, and I think you gotta be in some good form, but definitely this is some good information that you have shared with us today about this new training, and we encourage anybody that wants to sign up for this. Remember our requirements here at NTA, and you can remind me, Robin, I think you have to be 16 to 28.
Unemployed
Uh-huh.
and out of school, as well as proof that you are Bahamian citizenship. So that could be your passport, driver's license, NIB, anything of that nature.
Yes. So there you have it, folks. Those are our requirements. And I think right now the flyer should be flashing across the screen. The important numbers that you need to remember is 461-6000 and also 461-6024. You can call us anytime between 9 and 5, Monday to Friday. Call us anytime after that. You may not get us, but you can still message us on Facebook, and we will be able to respond to any questions that you have. But this has been a really exciting show. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for joining us today. He's all the way over in Grand Bahama, but he took time out of his busy schedule to be with us today. Are there any closing remarks that you would like to leave with our audience today?
I would just like to say the NTA is doing a tremendous job in terms of getting young Bahamians involved and to make them more employable, whether it be soft skills or trades in any field. So I would encourage anyone that is in that bracket to apply and try it out today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you again for joining us. And thank you for agreeing to partner with us in this training. And I'm excited about it. I may not be one of the persons who sign up for the course. Robin may, but I'm definitely going to be out there, or one of my team members, we're going to be out there to get some footage of what y'all are doing. I think we would have done something like that in the past, but I'm excited to see some young people actually involved in this training and becoming fully certified as lifeguards and being able to help out wherever they can. And not only that, to be able to secure gainful employment for themselves. So thank you again, Mr. Smith. If you're watching us today,
thank you for having me.
Yes, anytime. We got to bring you back on, probably either midway during the training or after the training, so you could talk about how the experience was.
All right.
All right. If you're watching us today on Facebook or YouTube, please continue to like or share this video even after today's show is done. We would love to see this information being spread across the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, this training is for persons that reside in New Providence. I believe we probably may try it in some other islands, but this one is specifically for persons that reside in New Providence. We already talked about the requirements. You have to be 16 to 28. You have to be out of school. You have to be unemployed, and you have to show proof of Bahamian citizenship. Thank you for joining us today. And we are so happy that you watched this show today. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.